Hey, and welcome to Story Circle Toys. Hey, we're coming at you with our top 5 Grail toys. So I wanted to have a quick discussion about what Grails are. Uh, Look, most of you are going to know, but for those of you who don't, look, Grails are pretty much those items that are, they are the key items to your collection. They are the things that you are searching for that will put that pinnacle, that apex on your collection. Look, what are Grails? Grails can virtually be anything. So it's going to depend on a whole host of factors. Like for me, a lot of the Grails I'm looking for are things that I could probably just go straight on eBay and spend a lot of money on purchasing straight away. But I really like to buy local. I don't want to be bothered with shipping from another country to get these Grails. Look, finding these kind of items in the wild, look, with Grails, it is also about getting them, actually having them in your collection, but it's also about the finding of them. And man, do I love, going to a new store or, heading to one of the many toy shows and conventions that we have running in Auckland and New Zealand at the moment. That's part of it. It's not only it's the chase. It's the chase and getting the collections, getting these Grail items. Most importantly is Grails are whatever you want. Now, don't let anyone tell you any different. Buy what you like, collect what you like. So look, these Grails, this whole video started out with me picking up a few Grails recently. Some Star Wars Grails came up on one of the latest groups and I had to jump. So look, let's jump into these Grails right now. So what did I pick up? So on one of the local Star Wars groups, these became available and I had to jump. So I got a great deal. And also, I cannot remember the seller's name, but he actually dropped these off to me. And these are really cool. So Grail number 1 that I picked up is this fantastic Boba Fett prototype armor. Now you notice this is also in a really sweet case. It's not a graded figure. But look, if you know nothing about the Boba Fett prototype armor, let me show you this to get you up to date.
Introduce Boba Fett, and here he is, a new character. Can you speak to us, Boba?
Certainly.
Boba has sort of a radio voice. There's a speaker built into him here.
So you can see there, this was like a very early version of the armor, and I love that. It's just, look at that all white armor. I mean, I love Boba Fett. So getting this, it's not the absolutely perfect condition. It is unpunched. It's got a few little marks on it, but I'm pretty happy to have it, and having it in this beautiful case is also very cool. So yeah, there you go. This is what could have been Boba Fett had they gone in a different way. Funny thing is, I've seen a couple of videos on the history of Boba Fett's armor, and man, it has changed over the years. So let's put this down. And I said I also found a Grail with something that I didn't know was a Grail, something I desired until I saw it. So the same seller also had this. I'm gonna, can't take it up here. Let's rip this open. Oh, and the box is coming apart. Actually, look, there's a business card from the seller. So look, if you're in need of a rock covers band, run for cover. Check those guys out. So this is my other, new Grail. This is actually a graded figure. This is a foreign language, Shadows of the Empire, Chewbacca. Now look, if you have no idea what Shadows of the Empire was, look, again, let's check out this video.
Prepare yourself for Star Wars, Shadows of the Empire. The evil Empire has struck back with a vengeance, and a new villain, the crime lord Shizor, schemes to replace Darth Vader as the Emperor's second-in-command. With Han Solo held frozen in carbonite by bounty hunter Boba Fett, it's the rebellion's darkest hour. Now, join Jedi warrior Luke Skywalker, hard-charging Chewbacca, and go undercover with heroic pilot Dash Rendar and his booming Outriders. But can Han Solo be freed and Shizor be stopped? Star Wars, Shadows of the Empire. Look for the authentic figures and vehicles from Kenner.
So look, Shadows of the Empire was pretty unique at the time, being like a big mass media crossover. Books, the toys, the game, the N64 game, which I have, is like one of my favorite games of all time. So this is graded an AFA 80. Look, I don't really believe in grading, but this is how it came. I absolutely adore Shadows of the Empire and the figures from this set, and I am trying to pick all of them up. And yeah, this being a foreign carded one was also really, really cool. So, look, that's the Grail finds. But look, let's go to the next part. Let's do my first top 5 of the channel as we go through my top 5 Grail finds. And look, if you're out there and you can help me with any of those, let me know. Here we go. All right, Grail find number 1 on my list. Tex Hex and Marshall Bravestar from the Bravestar toys. Look, this one might be a little obscure to some people. This is one, again, look, I had these figures as a kid. You'll notice through my top 5, some of these items, at least 60% of these items on this list are ones that I had as a kid. Look, if you're not familiar with Bravestar, let's roll the tape.
And faraway place, the planet of New Texas floats deep in space. Sky of 3 suns, land of precious ore. The Carrium Rush brought outlaws by the score. And one day a lawman appeared with powers of hawk, wolf, puma, and bear. Protector of peace, mystic man from afar. Champion of justice, Marshal Bravestar. Bravestar. Eyes of the hawk, ears of the wolf. Bravestar. Bravestar. Brains of the bear, feet of the puma. Bravestar. Bravestar.
So yeah, hopefully I get a chance to pick these bad boys up. You see them quite often without the accessories, so they came with a bunch of accessory guns, rifles, Carrium Rock, which was kind of like what the villains were after. I suppose the equivalent of Energon. If you're a Transformers fan, that's Energon Cubes was the equivalent. So yeah, I really dug as a kid this kind of sci-fi western. Tex Hex is such a menacing villain, and he came on this cool Skull Rider, but called a Skull Rider vehicle. Yeah, I'll show you just to explain it. But I mean, these were wacky times. Again, this had a cartoon, but this series, this line and the cartoon just did not do very well, and kind of faded and got stuck on retailer shelves. But yeah, look, I adored it, and hopefully I can pick these up somewhere down the line. All right, next on the list is, this isn't something as a child, but this is something as I've started collecting now I really want. Number 4 on my top 5 is the Godzilla from Imperial Toys. You've seen from my other videos, I am collecting Imperial Toys. They were a Californian US company. They made a lot of kind of rubber toys. They made a whole line, well, they made a whole bunch of Godzilla toys, which were probably a lot of people's first introduction to Godzilla in plastic. Very common in the US, and now obviously people would love to collect them. Look, they are not screen accurate, but yeah, I absolutely adore. I suppose it's a little bit kitschy, to be honest, but I really adore it. Of course, I already picked up one very similar, like a knockoff of an Imperial toy. So hopefully at one of these conventions, one of these shows soon, somebody will have Godzilla waiting for me. Look, I am beginning to dive a little deeply into the Japanese toys. So Fubi toys, vinyl, soft vinyl toys. Hopefully I'll bring some more stuff on that soon as I begin to expand my collection. But yeah, Godzilla is number 4. Number 3 on the countdown is Power of the Force, Luke and Stormtrooper Disguise. Now, this isn't the Power of the Force of the 90s, which the 90s Power of the Force is kind of referred to as Power of the Force 2. The original Power of the Force line was the final Star Wars line from Kenner. Obviously, Return of the Jedi had come out, and Star Wars popularity was, obviously fading a little bit. There were no new toys to be made. So this was kind of like an attempt to keep the line going. At the time, apparently Kenner did have a whole line of kind of, I suppose, what we'd call expanded universe figures, whole storylines and figures to go, but that never actually happened. So this is the final line. Again, I had this as a kid. I cannot believe I do not have it anymore. This figure took forever to come out in the 90s line. But it did eventually. And the funny thing is, it's only Luke. There was no Han Solo in the Power of the Force line and Stormtrooper disguise. This figure is hard to get loose, impossible to get carded. Of course, the gun and the helmet go missing. Having it in good condition. Of course, the box you'll see here, of course, came with a commemorative coin. I wish I had this. If only younger Alan had decided to put this on a shelf somewhere or even keep the loose toy. Imagine how happy I would be today. Number 2 might be not one that you're guessing. And then, again, this one is kind of a recent one. Look, in my toy journey, I found out that I'm really enjoying toys as a whole. It doesn't need to be action figures. It doesn't need to be Star Wars. The original intention of this channel was Star Wars only. But this is something I really wanted to pick up. And I missed my chance recently to get this. It is Peruvian Barbie. So I don't know too much about the Barbie line and the total history. I've seen a few videos and stuff like on it. But, I'd like to have a good example of the different toy lines. And this one, Barbies of the World figure, just struck me, something about it, just beautiful colors. It's not obviously not the typical blonde-haired Californian beach Barbie, but yeah, really adore this figure. Opportunity did come up recently, but it was an auction and went a little bit too high for my budget, and now I'm like cursing myself I didn't pony up the cash. So I do actually have my first Barbie coming. I have got, if you have a look here, I have got, this is Disney World Barbie. That's coming from Melody, who is, I suppose, my Barbie whisperer, or many people's Barbie whisperer. She knows so much, and obviously that's a specialty of Melody's. So yeah, check out Melody Likes if you want to pick up Barbies or any kind of, so many dolls. But yeah, hopefully one day this can come my way. And here we go. Number 1 on my top 5 Grails list. We are at, again, Star Wars. Again, it's a toy I had from my childhood. We are at the Max Rebo band from Return of the Jedi. Don't know who these guys are? Let's roll the tape.
Rebo's got the beat, and the band plays on. You can relive it all with Kenner's Star Wars Return of the Jedi collection. Introducing Size Noodles and the Rebo Band. Jabba the Hutt action playset sold separately.
Play it again, Size. Starring Size Noodles. Droopy McCool on clarinet, Max Rebo on organ. Ribbit, Rebo. Dance, Droopy. It's your last solo, Snoodle. Whoa.
New Size Noodles and the Rebo Band. Jabba the Hutt action playset sold separately from Kenner's Star Wars Return of the Jedi collection.
All right, Max Rebo band. This is my ultimate grail at the moment. I want to have these guys loose and on card. I believe this was a Christmas present or a birthday present, since Christmas and my birthday are pretty close together. I would have picked this up. I have fond memories of picking this up from the Toy Warehouse. That's an old toy chain. I distinctly remember the Toy Warehouse in Tarapa and Hamilton as a kid. So look, this is a little bit of an odd one to pick up. They're not the most action-filled characters. They are a musical band. They're from Jabba's Palace. They're made up, of course, the organist and band leader, Max Rebo. On the flute, we have Droopy McCool, which sounds like he's some kind of pound puppy 90s doll, like toy dog of some type. And of course, we have the lead singer. We have Nice Noodles. So these are, of course, pre Return of the Jedi Special Edition, which added a whole bunch of extra band members. A little bit of an odd one. I think as a child, I might have suggested my parents picking this one up, simply because it had the most figures, because otherwise everything else was big vehicles, which my parents wouldn't have purchased me, or they were single-carded figures, and maybe this was in the price range, had the most figures. So I really want to get one of these. If you're holding on to one of these, boxed or carded, hit me up. Okay, that is my top 5 Grails. Of course, I could have expanded this to at least 10, possibly even more Grail finds. There's so many figures I'm finding, so many characters as I kind of build my collection and, do my research, look into more toys. Look, big thing about this, whatever your Grails are, like what you like, buy what you like. Nobody has any other say on what you consider a Grail. It doesn't matter how rare, how expensive, how limited it is, whatever it is, it's important to you. So look, that's Story Circle Toys out. Please drop us a like, a comment, subscribe, or hit me up if you've got some of these figures at home. All right, that is Story Circle Toys. We'll see you next week.